Hello everyone. So today I'm going to talk about how I found out that I was pregnant and some of the emotions that I was going through, symptoms and everything like that. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And yeah. So everything happened. It was in like October 2021, and it was, I think, mid that month. Like, I remember me laying, well, right now I'm actually 16 weeks pregnant, but I remember me laying on the couch and like getting so frustrated and stuff like that, and like just screaming into a pillow, and I'm like, didn't even know what was going on emotionally. I felt very depressed, and I actually haven't felt that way in a long time because I've been working on myself, like going to therapy and everything like that. Not anymore, but like a couple years ago. And I got over a lot of trauma and everything, but because I used to be really depressed. But like now, like when that happened, like that week in October, I just felt like a swarm of depression. I was like, what is going on? This is weird because I haven't felt this way. Then I was getting rid of all like the bad food in the house. And my fiance was like so upset. Little Paris, he was like, why are you getting all this food? We need some of this food. I want some of these snacks and stuff like that. He didn't even know why I was doing all that. But I had to fit. I was like, do you know what's in this food? This stuff can kill you, you know, da 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 da. Which is true, but it was just very drastic. Like, I just went in the kitchen, started throwing away stuff. I was like, we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. So that was two things. That was two symptoms that before we actually took the pregnancy test as to why, you know, like it seemed like I was pregnant. I was really depressed. I was like spazzing out and doing certain things. And then I called my mom, my brother, and I told my fiance, I was like, you know, I just feel so depressed. And they thought I needed some sunlight, but I was in the sun. You know, they thought I needed some energy. I need to get out, some vitamins and stuff like that. So I went to the store, you know, picked up some of that stuff. I forgot what it was my brother told me to get, but it was something to help my energy. And I picked that up, but I didn't feel like that helped. Plus, me and my fiance were just driving one day. He was like, because we tried to get out to make me feel better. He was like, why don't we just go get a pregnancy test? And we've took pregnancy tests before and they've always negative. So I was just thinking like, okay, well, we can. It's going to be negative, but we can if you want. So then we went to go get the pregnancy test. It was clear blue and it had two in it. Had the one with the double lines, the lines, so like if it's like two lines or something, that means you're pregnant. Then it had the other one that actually said pregnant or not pregnant. So we took the ones with the lines first. We went in the bathroom. I'm laughing because it was funny. We went in the bathroom. I took that one, and then it had both lines, so it said I was pregnant, but I didn't believe it. I was like, no, I'm not pregnant, because it looked a little fuzzy. So I was like, okay, this is probably like a mess up. So we threw that away. Then we took the one that was more clear that said like pregnant or not pregnant. And we was thinking about waiting to take it, but we just took it anyways. And then I guess it was God telling us, you know, just take this so you can find out. And then that said pregnant. But we looked at it at the same time. So I was in the bathroom, he was in the bathroom. It said pregnant on it. It was flipped over. So when we flipped it over and we seen that it said pregnant, we was like we just we just stared at each other for like 5 minutes. It was like, oh my God, why? No, not why. That's wrong. That's terrible. We was just like so surprised. It was crazy because all that time, you take the test and it says negative, and then like now it's like it says positive. We were just like, no, this isn't right. So we didn't believe that. So I went to the doctors. I went to the hospital, and this was like because I was really craving like grapes, and I was also craving like jerk chicken from this specific place that I used to go to a long time ago. So we went to go to that jerk chicken place, me and my mom, because it was in Atlanta area. And I also was like, hey, because I didn't want to tell my mom. I didn't want to tell nobody yet because we didn't really know. I was like, hey, Mom, can you take me to the hospital? I'm not feeling too well. I'm feeling a little sick. And she kind of felt like I was pregnant, but it wasn't like, oh my God, she's pregnant. She just thought, my mom was really gullible. She was like, okay, well, your stomach hurts. Let me take you to the doctor. So we went to the doctor, the hospital, and they charge you a grip for like the simplest things like a test. But I was like, okay, let's just do it just to make sure. Maybe they have something that's different. No, it's the same test. It's the same stuff. I waited like 3-4 hours sitting there. And as I was waiting, I was like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Because this is a lot for this. And there's no way, I felt like there was something still in my stomach after I used the bathroom, which felt really weird. But when we was there at the hospital, we waited. And the lady came back and she was like, you're pregnant. And then I told her the test that I took, and she was like, yeah, those are pretty accurate. So I was like, yeah, I just wasted a trip. But I finally believed it. I was like, okay. I didn't throw up yet. I was like, all right, I'm pregnant. I still didn't tell my mom because later that day me and my fiance told my mom and my brother at the same time. So yeah. Oh, and these are my nausea bands. I'm only wearing one right now. I'm in the second trimester, so everything's getting a lot easier. So we told my mom. Her reaction was like very surprised, but she was happy, and my brother was happy. They were very surprised. My brother kind of already knew that I was pregnant, so because he was just like, I knew he was gonna say that. And then my mom was fine. She was like, okay, I'm very surprised, but all right. So yeah, like so I told you about the symptoms that I had. I was craving different food and stuff like that. But when I tell you, man, the first trimester is the hardest thing that I ever had to go through. I'm in second now, but I was a mess. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk to you about like week 6, 7, 8, about my pregnancy. I found out I was pregnant in like 5-6 week. But as the weeks went on, I started to feel really sick, really nauseated. Just I didn't even want to get up out of bed. I laid in bed like all day sometimes. And then I started throwing up, I think like 7 week 7, I started throwing up. But it was on and off. It was like every other day, or maybe like 3 times a week. Like, it wasn't that much, but it was still like a lot for me because I really hate throwing up. It is like the worst thing ever for me. I hated it as a kid. Like, the last time I threw up was like when I was a child. And so that was very like, just like, oh, this is terrible. But you get used to it. You will get used to it because you have no control. It just takes over. It literally takes over your body. And so yeah, I was throwing up. I was feeling sick, like hot and cold and hot and cold. I had to drink ice water. I went to go get my prenatals. Started taking like the first set of prenatals, but then I eventually got so sick that I couldn't even take the prenatals. It made me throw up. So I was suggested to stop taking them for like a week or something like that until I felt better. Bad idea, y'all. I feel like if you keep throwing up, just take them anyways because your body needs those vitamins and nutrients, because you can get really sick like I did. So I stopped taking the vitamins, and then I did get very sick. Like, it came from throwing up 2-3 times a week to throwing up like 4 or 5 times a day. And then it got worse. So I think it was week 10, around that time, I was throwing up very consistently every day. And I wasn't taking my vitamins because I was trying to feel better so that way I can take my vitamins and keep them down. But I was also losing nutrients. And then it got so bad to where I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't keep it down. I couldn't keep no food down. And then also, I couldn't keep water down. But I was just like, okay, this is normal. People throw up all the time. It's pregnancy. I looked it up on Google. I was like, you can look stuff up on Google, but just go with your instinct, because if you need to go to the doctor, just go. Go to the hospital. Have them check you out just in case. Or the doctors. And I couldn't go to the doctors yet because I had to get my insurance stuff fixed and everything like that. But I didn't go to the doctors because I was like, oh, well, this is normal, like yada, yada, yada. But it is normal to throw up. What is not normal to throw up like every single hour. I was throwing up every hour. I was hunched over. I couldn't even like move. If I moved, I was gonna throw up. And it was just so traumatizing. Like, my whole world just felt like, what is life? Like, I literally felt like I was gonna die. And it's crazy to say that, but I just felt like that's what it's like to get to the end of your life. Because I felt so like nothing mattered to me. I wasn't doing nothing. I was like, let me just sleep this away. But I'm telling you guys, get help if you're feeling bad, or have people around you who can, tell you to go get help. Because luckily, I had my mom and my fiance who was saying like, oh, she needs to go to the doctors. But I didn't really believe it until later. I really had to tell myself, yeah, this is a lot. Like, I'm getting really sick. So we called the nurse. This was my fiance's graduation. So he graduated from college, and then I was like, I really want to go to your graduation. I can't miss this. So